Alright, let's go ahead and get started. I just want to look at my mic levels real quick because OBS likes to mess with the volume values here, so I always have to resync everything. That should be good. Alright, let's go ahead and put a prediction message up. I know there's a bunch of people that are playing and they want to be able to place bets on themselves. This is going to be Blue 4 and Op 4 again. Blue 4, I believe, is going to be Czech Republic. Op 4 is going to be Russia. Now, quick disclaimer. I know it's been a lot of on and off streaming these past few weeks. That is going to end starting today. And then tomorrow we're getting right back into Zeusing with various things. Thank you for being patient with me these past 2 weeks. It's just been a plethora of IRL shenanigans, but that's all taken care of. I want to end the year with plenty of Arma ops to go with. It's just, c'est la vie, right? Nonetheless, with that out of the way, hope you're all doing A-okay, and thank you for joining me. Today's OFCRA PvP mission, let me check real quick. We've got about, last I checked it was like 95, but that might have jumped a little bit. Yep, we're about 106 players on for today. Not bad, not bad. This is the second to last OFCRA match of the year. Next week will be the final one, and then what does that put us on? The 19th. So that means on the 26th there will not be an OFCRA match. I am going to either show up and play on the ground because they do some really funny, like, shenanigans style PvP missions. 2 years ago it was some Warhammer 40k stuff. I joined in, actually murked quite a few people in it. And then last year's was some mini matches. So we'll see what happens with that. Might show up, might not, but you know, I like to cover it. And then it'll be back to normal next year. I know in January they have a meeting, usually somewhere in the middle of the month, where they don't do a session, instead decide how they're going to plan things for the entire year, so that I know there won't be another session then, but otherwise we'll be right back into everything. But regardless, let's go ahead and start covering this objective here. So, for the common objectives, there is a logistics hub right here. This is worth 45, excuse me, I misread. So this is a logistics hub. It is cashed in at the end of the game, and it is worth 1 single point. Then there's a farm area down here. This is cashed in at the 45-minute mark, and it is also worth 1 point. And then there's an outpost over here cashed in at the 50-minute mark, worth 1 point as well. So 45 minutes, 50 minutes, end of the game. The end of the game, it's a 90-minute match. So a lot of running around over here, but there are a bunch of additional objectives here, each worth 1 point with the exception of one, but we'll get to that. So there is a mobile HQ. It is marked right here. All of these objectives are cashed in at the 75-minute mark. There's going to be 4 of them. So this is worth 1 point, either Blue 4 holding the HQ or Op 4 destroying it. There's a UAV terminal marked here. That is worth 1 point, cashed in at the 75-minute mark. Blue 4 defending, Op 4 destroying it. There is an officer at this location, worth 1 point. If he is killed, Op 4 gains a point. If he survives by the 75-minute mark, Blue 4 gains a point. And a repair station, marked right here. If this is destroyed, Op 4 get a point. If it is protected, Blue 4 get a point. There's also an additional objective that was snuck on at the end. It is a radar station. Same deal. Cashed in at the 75-minute mark. If it's destroyed before that, Op 4 gets a point. If it's protected, Blue 4 gains a point. There's also a survival bonus in play for both sides. So if Blue 4 Op 4 have 8 or more people alive by the end of the game, they gain a bonus 2 points. So if one side completely stampedes the other, that side is more than likely going to win, especially with that bonus. But if the game gets close, neither side are going to get those points. It's really going to rely on who has made more. Round has begun. I'm going to adjust something real quick. I'm trying to be able to hear myself here. There we go. And that is the sound of TFAR, everybody being moved. It looks like we have another debug corner right here. I'm going to tab out real quick, mute myself locally. I know these guys, they like to stream, yell a bunch of cuss words. They like to play a bunch of copyrighted music, so I got to be a little careful about listening on to everything here. Bloodwing's doing much better. She still has an MRI to do, I think, next week, but she's up and at 'em. She's going to work again. Things are good. But with, again, as I said earlier, all of my IRL stuff taken care of, I can start working again full time, so we'll get back to ops and, you know, doing what we love here. But regardless, here is Op4. They are a VDV group. The person in charge is going to be Damien with WikiQuartz. I always say his name wrong. I always call him WikiQuartz. It's WikiQuartz, but whatever. As the 2IC. But we've got a BTR-80 Alpha with an autocannon, 3 BTR-80s, and then a bunch of transport trucks. We have a command UAZ back here. I see no statics, so it's just going to be a motorized group of the APCs, a platoon. Okay, we also have some Dishka UAZs here as well. Otherwise, Op4 is going to be mainly AK-74s, you know, VDV, Russian airborne groups. I just heard an SVD fire off. We've got some RPG-7s in play as well. I've seen a big lack of scopes, though. I do see some PKPs in play. And I'm trying to see if I see any RPKs. I don't. So it might just be PKPs as the machine guns. I do see a T-5000 in play, though. So we got some bolt-action, bigger caliber marksman rifles. There's an RPK, so we do have a few here and there. I did hear suppressed shots as well, so I'm trying to figure out who that is. All right, so we do have a little bit of a spec op team here. Some RPG-26s, so those are some light AT warheads. We got some VSS. No, these are AS Vals. AS Val is literally just a more advanced VSS, more modernized, but they both fire that 9x3, or 9.3. I think it's 9.3, but it's basically like a submachine gun round, so pretty potent, but I don't know. I've also seen riflemen win fights against those calibers. Also some GP25 systems for the Grenadier, but looks like they are spawning in one localized spot. We have spawn 2 for the Blue 4 Czech side. It appears to only be 2 guys, but the Czech weaponry is... Are those SA-58s? Those are SA-58s. Goddamn. They also have their older machine gun in play as well. That's quite interesting. But wow, these are... They don't even get helmets. Oh my god. Alright, so, huh. These guys get, some pretty... Is that a bolt-action hunting rifle? A CZ550? Wow. So, Blue 4 do not get a lot to work with here, but let's look at Spawn 1. Maybe it's just divided based off of that. Alright, so we've got some CZ550s now. So, Spawn 2, I think, is a bunch of reservists. Spawn 1 here is their more modernized stuff. So, we got some helmets. We've got some, oh god. I think RSGA, no, RPG-75s, my bad. RSGH is the, that's, I think, the thermal barrack, but nah, that would be a Russian thing. But this is a Czech launcher. It's the RPG-75. Used to suck, but they've updated since. It's pretty decent now. We got a bunch of red dots on everything now. All right. But yeah, CZ, again, I think it's CZ-550s. They also have RPG-7s. Is that an ACOG on your gun? Yep, so we might see a lack of marksmen, and instead they're just putting ACOGs on some of their rifles here to simulate the marksman. But that's the only set of weaponry I see. I'm assuming there is some sort of GL-based weapon, but I'm looking at the squad leader here. Squad leaders get ACOGs. I didn't see any ACOGs on the Op4 squad leaders, though, so I'll have a look again. But I'm not seeing... I see some PKMs, alright. But I'm not seeing any... marksman. Okay, so there is some GL capability. That's a 203S, I believe, so it's a longer barrel, but it might be the Czech version. But that should have a slightly longer range. Otherwise, looking at their vehicles, we do have a single BRDM and a bunch of transports. Okay, so their marksman is going to be a Mark 211 with a scope. So that's a semi-automatic 20-round 7.62x51 NATO marksman rifle. So not a bad pick there. It's going to probably be one of the more devastating guns. They also have some suppressed guys, which is just CZ550s with some suppressors here. And you're right, it is 9x39. I was saying 9.3. 9.3 is a completely different caliber. That's for the ASP-1. Which is from the Marksman DLC of this game. That's my bad. I am very out of season here. Goddamn. Alright, and then they also have... What is that, an L39? No. But it's, oh my god, like an AWP equivalent. But it's, no, an M21. Either way, this is a sniper rifle. It's got a bipod. It's got a bolts. So I think it's going to be either a 5-rounder or a 10-rounder, remembering the model information. But yeah, that's the square off with the T5000. Then the commander gets he gets a freaking Scorpion. Z is going to be commanding Blue 4 though. I want to check back on Op 4 to see, did the squad leaders have magnified optics? They do. Okay, but it's the 9K, I think 9K38 sight, which is not the best, and ACOG beats that every single time. So Op 4 have multiple vehicles to work with. They even have an autocannon. They've also got multiple Dishkas to work with, but Dishkas kind of suck. They're more of a suppression weapon. Blue 4, I mean, some of their kit just outright sucks because of the Spawn 2 location. It's a bunch of reservists, but it looks like there's only a handful of them anyway. Taking that spawn, the rest have gone to the other one. Right off the bat, I think Blue 4's plan is probably going to be maybe hold the farm and then pull back and hold these 5 objectives here and then pull back to the logistics hub. I don't see Blue 4 sending anyone to the outpost out here because this is just way too far out. Didn't mean to flash you guys with night vision there. It's because the M and the N key are right next to each other. The farm, I could see them trying to occupy but being quick to leave. But if Blue 4 doesn't start setting up defensive lines and then forcing Op 4 to slow down, Op 4 is just going to bulldoze with all of its vehicles on this AO. So I don't know. Blue 4 is going to have to try to set up some ambushes somewhere. Op 4, they might also just completely ignore the outpost and just bulldoze to the farm and then the logistics hub and then all of the other objectives from that side. Or just ignore the logistics hub till the end, take this road up. Suma has a lot of nice hilly terrain to use as defilade as well as some nice forest. There's some really great kill zones you can make though. With these open areas and whatnot, but it does require you to expose a little bit of yourself. You also have to be mindful that there is this massive built-in map barricade to essentially stop vehicles from crossing on the northern and the southern side. So if Blue 4 know about this, they can basically set up kill zones in the positions on the road where you have these crossings. So right here, over here, that would then extend to over here, so you'd have to have an entire like 2 squad group watch those. And then this crossing extends all the way to the river. And then I thought it continued on the other side, but I don't see it. Uh-oh. And yeah. Well, the entirety of Delta's dead. So Blue 4 just lost about 1/3 of its infantry. Maybe closer to 1/4, but, you know, I'd assume the admin's gonna respawn them, but it's not a good sign when you lose a big chunk of your infantry and 4 of your vehicles in the beginning of the fight. Yeah, so there's them getting respawned now, but, well, yeah, okay. So if you wanted to sneak a last bet in, maybe this is a good sign to bet Op 4. But if you like underdogs, you know, Blue 4 could also be a wise choice. So here's the significant thing about this. I'm going to tell you right now, they're all going to get respawned no matter how many times it takes to respawn them because there's a bunch of burning vehicles that might instantly knock them out. But this means that a big chunk of Blue 4's infantry is going to be late in potentially securing these choke points that I was pointing out along these roads, which means Op 4 is going to be able to bypass them. So with that, OFCRA is going to basically be able to get to where they need to be, past those choke points, and then sneak around and get to... No. No. It can't keep happening. You can't keep doing this. So, that's 5 blown up trucks for Blue 4, but my point is OFCRA is going to have a lot of time to deploy their forces if they want to. It's kind of weird seeing them stall out this early. But it looks like OFCRA is going to send everything over to the outpost first, and then potentially sneak around, hit this spot, bypass the farm, and then after hitting these, go to the final logistics hub. So, funny enough, this might still work out in Blue 4's favor, because if Blue 4 is forced to have everybody respawn here, and then they're slowed down... You all just saw that, right? He flipped the truck, and then unflipped the truck. Okay. Okay, that was weird. But regardless, Blue 4 might now take a much more defensive stance, which will then allow them to actually be in perfect defensive positions to stop this OFCRA flanking attack. If I was OFCRA, I'd definitely do a two-way assault, one from this side, one from that side, with at least 2/3 to 3/4 of my force, and the rest I would just send up to the farm as a feint. Because if they find nothing at the farm, free points, and then they can just run up and take stuff. If they take resistance, that can pull Blue 4 away so that this main attack can work, and then they can just flank around and do their stuff. Hey, righto, Dragon. But we do see Blue 4 is putting up a very firm defense of this outpost area. Now, I gotta wonder, with these fields of fire here, will it be super effective? Because you see these roving hills over here, and that's going to give a lot of cover to the attackers to get up to this position. Blue 4 do have ACOGs, though, which are the best scopes in this AO. Ooh, we do see a few Dishkas in the AO as well, so... maybe Blue 4 isn't completely out of it, you just... Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna lie to you all and say it's anyone's game, because the more I focus on the players, the more my head starts to hurt. And that's standard for PvP, but damn, it's certainly something. Here, I'm gonna turn my volume knob down a little bit because it's spiking. There we go. I'll be a little more quiet, but if I start yelling, it won't peak the microphone. Well, I will be in POG tonight, and, well, I'm hoping to collect more footage, because that place is a gold mine, just watching everyone get murdered around me. It's quite funny. But regardless, let's go ahead and have a look. So, Blue 4 have sent a group up. It's Gazag, who is squad leading. OFCRA is going to dismount some guys. Ash has an RPG, but these guys are running the wrong way. And this vehicle is now dismounting. They're looking around. I don't think they heard the truck, but the guy... yeah, okay, so Ash now turns around, realizing, hey, there's a vehicle here we might want to hit. Gazag running up a little close. Oh. And now OFCRA has some vehicle issues. We'll check on that in a second. I can't tell if Ash missed the RPG or not. Tackle gets knocked. I couldn't tell if there was some red on red back here. Oh, okay, so OFCRA also has a bot squad out. That RPG hits. Knocks somebody out, potentially kicks them out. That might cook off. I'm going to quickly have a look down here. OFCRA, what did you cook off? A whole squad with the BTR. So both sides really like to armor their vehicles today, but that'll probably be respawned, but this one will not. That is one of the 80s taken out. That had to have been by Ash, who was the AT gunner. He's trying to flank around. Tackleberry wakes back up. Zoc takes some shots. He gets knocked to his legs here, but he is still up. I really hope you're not... Okay, yep, they are, in fact, red on red in here. Max Chosen, thanks for the 26-month resub, buddy. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. I do hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. These guys are now running back. I hope they realize that they're all on the same team. They do not. So Blue 4 have taken a 4-man ambush and somehow sown so much confusion into Op 4 that they are now shooting at each other. While you have 2 of the bot players coming around over here, they spot Tackleberry and take him out. Suppression going up to that smoke. Now the NR guys are turning around and looking up there. I thought they were running down to tell these guys that they were red on redding, but no, they're we see bot 2 also putting some shots out here where we saw Bishop take a guy out. Ash also gets taken out, so this entire Blue 4 fire team gets wiped, but they did take out a BTR. They caused a few knockouts, and they also caused Op 4 to shoot at each other. Now, I'm only seeing 2 knockouts on the roster, but it is quite possible that someone did die in DC, but I'm not seeing any bodies. It is a little hard to see with the smoke, but they could have woken back up. So, even then, 2 knockouts for 4 kills is not the best trade. Yes, they took a BTR out, but BTRs are not the best vehicles to work with. There's been a lot of interesting cursing, that's for sure. Alright, so that's the other BTR 80. The Alpha is being kept in reserve back here with the autocannon. And it's looking okay. That's an interesting choice, but it is what it is. Alright, so overall, I'd assume Op 4 got their vehicle respawned, and that entire squad was brought up to the line. I'd imagine we're either going to see a 2-pronged attack on the outpost, or these guys are going to bypass and start going for the Blue 4 objectives here. We do have this small feint team heading over to the farm area. Blue 4 has decided not to go for that position. Let's go ahead and look at all the marked positions here. So the Blue 4 HQ, what would need to be destroyed is this vehicle. More than likely with an explosive charge. That's a BMP-2K HQ variant. UAV terminal is in this little fortified area here. That's also going to need some sort of explosive charge. The officer is in this little command tent here. At least he should be. It could just be an interaction with the radio instead. That is an RC noise. Repair station tucked away back here. It's got to put explosives on that fuel tank. And then the radar. Big artillery radar here. That's going to need some explosive charges. So Op 4 need to protect their explosive specialists with their lives. If they don't, they need to at least loot the explosives here. Now I'm trying to see where Op 4 is going to mobilize here. I think we're hearing some double tapping shots from these forces as they're verifying that these guys are dead. One of the Blue 4 bodies did have an ACOG, so I am half expecting someone on Op 4 to find and loot that weapon, because the ACOG would be pretty significant to work with. All right, we do have an Op 4 body here. Actually, we have 2. It looks like Upir is the body out here, and Janida was also killed off here. But, you know, 2 Op 4 to 4 dead Blue 4. I mean, that's a good ratio for Op 4 to work with there. Yes, OPFOR lost a BTR, but there's so many other vehicles that they have. The bot here is coming in. He's shooting at the wheels. Interesting call. Usually you'd see OPFOR steal the vehicle and utilize it, but I guess he's just giddy. But now we've got OPFOR maneuvering onto the outpost, so they are going to do a two-pronged attack and try to hit the outpost from both flanks. Blue 4 has set up a defensive line further up the road here to hold for any additional OPFOR attacks, but OPFOR is instead going to go for the outpost. So their plan is essentially hit this, go around, hit these positions from the rear, and then they're also going to get the points from the farm. I'd imagine once these guys complete that, they're going to go to the logistics hub and then camp it for the rest of the game. Blue 4 I'm really worried about because they have a lot of their forces kind of divided out. They made these pretty grandiose side ambushes as well. They were really expecting OPFOR to come on to the extreme flanks here, but OPFOR is just sending it through direct routes here. And I think what promoted that was OPFOR seeing that there was a giant fence line and knowing they could only cross from certain positions. So that just prompted them to rush into those areas. Now, we've got some Blue 4 firing with one of their Dishkas out here at this infantry group that was forced to cross in the open. See some blind suppression, RPG fired back, but it is short. Great GL goes on the rear. It does knock out one OPFOR player. And O'Neill was also killed off here as well. We've got more OPFOR, some coming along the far eastern side to potentially come around. And then we've got an infantry group coming along the rear, and we do hear a vehicle coming as well. This is HQ. And we do have a support BTR back here as well. So if OPFOR on the outpost gets a lot of pickoffs, that could change the number balance. We could also have Golf for Blue 4. It looks like they are on the move. They could catch this OPFOR group in the open as they're maneuvering and also get a few more kills. So I wouldn't say the game is over just yet, but we do see a significant amount of manpower between both sides being committed to this outpost area. I would argue Blue 4 still have a little bit in reserve, but with that much infantry, they won't be able to hold every single remaining objective. So even if OPFOR takes significant casualties, they might still have enough manpower to eliminate a good chunk of the remaining objectives and still win the fight. So right now, it's definitely stacked against Blue 4. I'm doing all right, Ricky. How you doing? I haven't heard the autocannon fire off just yet. It is still being held in reserve back here. With its gun pointed to the east this time instead of the south. Okay. Maybe they're thinking Blue 4 is going to try to do this like big outflank plan of some sort, but both sides are being very direct with their infantry force so far. Blue 4 used a little bit more to do some pretty wide defense maneuvers here, but in AOs that are this big and this many objectives to defend, you don't want to commit too much to these big flanks here because, well, I mean, you're staring at a scenario right now where that's not the case. You want to just be a bit more defensive on the objectives themselves. But again, I think Blue 4 lost a lot of that because they had such a bad start in getting, what, like 4 or 5 of their vehicles armored and literally like a fourth of their player base killed. So we hear more GLs going off. Blue 4 is kind of just randomly ranging them. We have a big chunk of Blue 4 potentially coming up to the rear of this OPFOR group, but OPFOR being very mobile. Another BTR with a big squad is here. Seismo, though, has an RPG. These guys start dismounting, but Seismo, if he can get it to the next ridgeline, he could potentially get the kill. He's going to have to aim towards the front of the BTR, though, because the rear won't cook off with that RPG. Engine comes on. He's calling it up. He also has an ACOG. He's well ahead of his infantry, though. All right, OPFOR started flanking. One member of NR is taken out, but we got some of the bots right behind Blue 4 here. Barrow's running out with his gun, not out. And the bots just start terminating players here. Kremet coming over, spots one of the bots, takes him out. The Bren is a very quiet gun, so you have to keep your ears open for it. 2 of the bots are taken out. By the way, these are real players. They just named themselves as bot. I'm just keeping the joke alive. An RPG comes into the window where these 2 Blue 4 are in and manages to knock them both out. This was a very narrow shot. And Marty made it from trying to get a range here. We're going to go in the bunker and look at Marty. Marty was about 300 meters away, and he threaded the needle with an RPG. That was a pretty impressive shot. That's one that even Eander, the AT god himself, would probably struggle to make. So this counterattack on the rear, it's going to catch these guys out, that's for certain, but OPFOR might be able to rally their force here. This Blue 4 garrison needs to hold out as much as they can. And the Blue 4 counter-assault group needs to come in quick. If they can start attacking as OPFOR is still trying to clear this garrison out, Blue 4 has a chance. But if OPFOR is able to wipe this one group, unify their force, and then fight this other group with the defensive advantage at that point, it's going to be a pretty solid OPFOR victory. Both of these guys are lucky to wake back up. Kremet gets knocked out by some grenades. I don't know. I feel like the Blue 4 counterattack force is just too slow. Wombat gets a really nice noob tube on one of the Blue 4 guys. Tries to go for a second. That one's overranged. Wombat gets knocked prone, but he is still up. More blind noob tube shots. That one goes well over, though. You see some blind fire by Wombat into the air. Don't know what that's about. Skipoo trying to catch Arthiak out of position. Okay. Here's the issue with that, Emil. That was your friend. Yeah. I think he's trying to revive him now, but remember, friendly fire is never friendly. Now Emil takes some shots as he lowers himself because they're taking fire from the opposite side. It's a grenade, but Kerrigan runs into the bunker to avoid it. Skipoo, another RPG goes in, and that takes out Mr. White. That had to have been a direct impact to immediately kill him. And Skipoo beats out the machine gunner there. We see some suppression from the one of the BTRs. Blue 4 now on the rear of this position. They're firing at OPFOR's 6 here, but OPFOR have cleared out most of this position. We still have some stragglers, though. When Dooney finds Flip and takes him out. One of the bots coming over to Barros. Barros has no idea. Okay, I was about to say, if that's a frag, bot just screwed himself there. Barros is hopelessly surrounded, though. You hear that Bren gun firing. And there's the double tap. So with that, the Blue 4 garrison save for Sixor has been wiped, and I just caster cursed him. Okay, well, with that, now we have Blue 4 counterattacking. Whoops. So now if OPFOR can rally and then fight off this attack wave, that leaves only one squad of Blue 4 left. OPFOR have occupied the farm area. RPG goes out on the BTR. I'm kind of surprised the BTR tanked that shot. That was right into the front. Another RPG comes in. That's another hit. That killed the gunner. There's another BTR now opening up. Knocks out 2 players. I don't know. Now that OFCRA has the high ground, Blue 4 are assaulting on the low ground into these bunkers. I'm actually kind of confident in saying this is GG. Blue 4 had one opportunity to sandwich OFCRA and cause a lot of commotion, and they lost it, and now they're fighting this position here. Look at that, 4 knockouts as 2 people were trying to do medical and 2 wounded because OFCRA have that elevated terrain. I'm 95% confident this is GG. We're seeing some Blue 4 that were trying to rush up ahead, getting picked off by OFCRA. That remains. OFCRA picking up their guns. OFCRA taking their defensive statics. Unless we see a Blue 4 player channel their inner Audrey Hotto and solo this match, I don't see Blue 4 bouncing back here. Jasper trying to flank around. He's got Kui behind him. Kui is no longer behind him. Kui is gone. Oh, I'm even hearing some of those suppressed shots now. Foxtrot trying to flank around. Sam in a bit of a predicament. He does pick up an AK-74, though, that confuse audio ID. That's a smart idea. But he needs to get in the rear of OFCRA's line to be effective with it. Because any gunshots that are ahead of anybody are going to immediately draw ire regardless. We got some more double tapping shots coming over here. Seren tries to crawl back and is immediately knocked out again by bot. And he's double tapped. Another double tap. Langfelder trying to put some smoke out to cover them. But this bot is relentless. 5 kills with the PKM. Jasper knocked out. Sam trying to find his way up here. Tries to get an angle on Skipu. Can't seem to get it. RPG goes out in this position. We have another KIA. Or that might have been Vosper got dragged back and potentially received medical. So it was a miss, but I like the idea. It was to basically knock out anyone that was still up. Destroyer gets destroyed by a suppressed weapon. That was the AS foul. And Lolo does the double tapping. And you see this Blue 4 attack wave has been very much decimated. Little bit of red on red seen. Little bit more red on red seen. BTR assaulting this position again as they take long range fire as well. Sam up a kill, but will it be enough? We are only 26 minutes into the round, by the way. RPG goes long. Kilo almost runs into it. These guys are suppressed by that HMG on that 14.5 heavy machine gun, which is what HMG stands for. Another RPG goes out. Looks to be ineffective. You've got Rigel here pushed on his own. Another RPG goes in. Langfelder is knocked out. You got Pro Hunter back here, trying to get some pickoffs. He's got the carbine version of the Bren. He just can't seem to line up a good shot, though. He's got Wombat coming around, though. Wombat sprays him down. He is taking some red on red, though. But he does get shot by another one of the bots. They just need to get their AI corrected, I guess. Because once again, the bots smack things. Skipu on the ridge here. Sam looking around, being incredibly cautious. I think he heard Skipu. But we see him look up. Skipu running back. Sam trying to listen. Langfelder wakes back up. Rigel has pulled back a bit. Ah, look at 6-man. No kills. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Regardless, looks like the Farm Assault group has sent a few guys up to basically do some reconnaissance. Numbers-wise, OFCRA have a slight number advantage. If we could see some Blue 4 get some really nice grenades off, that could change the tide here. But we also see some Blue 4 just outright routing. So, from what I've seen in this AO, I've only seen RPG VL warheads, which are improved HEAT, high explosive anti-tank. It's going to not do much against infantry. If you directly hit them, regardless, it's going to kill them, regardless of what type of warhead you use. But if you hit in a building that they're in, it will knock them out, but they'll wake up. But if you hit a vehicle with it, it blows. So I think what they're doing is that. That's what they're doing. So Sam just got disrespected by an RPG. And OPFOR are just using it because they have the rounds. Of course it was Zixme, right? I say he has no kills, so he has to find a very fun way to get a kill just to prove me wrong. That, yes, no, he does have a kill. He is useful. So, look. Blue 4 are down to 6 people here. A 7th is being carried away. OPFOR, meanwhile, I mean, God, have at least half a platoon up here, maybe 2/3. Still have a reserve group down there, and then Blue 4 just holding the final area. What OPFOR is going to do from here is come up, take these objectives, and then go to logistics hubs. Point-wise, it's going to be GG. Why was OPFOR given AT? Well, you see, if OPFOR is given AT, they're able to blow up their own vehicles with that AT. If you don't give OPFOR AT, then OPFOR's not able to blow up their own stuff, guys. Come on. Think, Angel. Think. Yeah. How else is OPFOR supposed to destroy themselves when they're winning? Shoot rifles at their vehicles? No. But I thought Blue 4 didn't have any BTRs. Well, so did I, but who pays attention in PvP? Just blow the allies up. Why not? How the fuck do you even do that? Good question. I wish I had an answer for you. Because I've been covering PvP since about 2019. For 6 years, I've seen shit like this. And I am no closer to an answer than any of you are. It just happens. Why? Don't know. That's just how it works. I don't really have an answer beyond that. That's just how it works. Is Demovar the Bloodhound going to find the remaining Blue 4 here? He's with Scener. Oh. They catch some of them. Really great grenade toss. That's going to get Scener. Beautiful toss by Maverick. And Demovar gets knocked out too. Oh, Zixme misses. Well, sometimes Zixme gets the AT shot, and sometimes Zixme does not get the AT shot. But he has an opportunity to make up for it now with a wide grenade throw. And he makes up for it. How did he do that? I have no idea, but it's Zixme. He is literally a wild card. He either performs English. Look, he's either a shit player or he's not, okay? It's whether or not he finds out he's fighting against Polish people. I don't know why. That's Zixme's superpower. If he finds out he's fighting the Polish, he just turns into a top-tier player. If he's fighting anybody else, he's like C-tier at best. He's going to spot Maverick. Through the bush. Yes, he does. Is Maverick a Polish name? It must be. It's the only way Zixme could be performing so well. Polish rage, right? Siberian war crime rates Polish. Yes. Yes, that's my joke. Or you got Lolo and Salty back here trying to fight off this OPFOR advance. Then you got Foxtrot still far up here. But look at that, some OPFOR are already starting to bypass to head into other positions. And they're running. Anyway, guys, we will tomorrow have a very rare Friday op in the morning. It is going to be a Siri op on steroids. And I do have an OPFOR player acting as a sniper. It's going to be fun. But Blue 4 are basically trying to escape a city, find transport, and then get to an evac zone, avoiding my AI and an OPFOR player. The OPFOR player can, of course, be killed, but he'll have a sniper and a drone, so we'll see how things go. Alright, we're going to have a little bit of downtime. OPFOR might continue to pursue some of these Blue 4 players, but, I mean, looking at the roster here, look at OPFOR. And then look at Blue 4. Blue 4 literally have 2 squads left. Interesting. So there was another Blue 4 squad, but they've deployed very late. That's with the BRDM. And they're just completely separated. Lolo unable to get a kill on Demovar there, but he quickly pulls away. No roleplay needed. You can just try your best to survive. And if I have more slots, which slotting did open up when this op started, so after this PvP match concludes, I'll go and slot that mission. If I find I have a bunch of reserves, I will make another team. What do you mean by that, Agron? I will admit tomorrow's op was inspired by a recent History Legends video that came out talking about an encirclement. And I'm like, that would be cool. What if we did like a encirclement breakout op? Where the player base starts off as like stranded remnants of certain squads and they have to like make a break for it. That was the inspiration. I also have the X-Ghost Recon op ready to go. We'll host that on Wednesday. It'll be duos, though. So, basically, like the solo mission from more than a few weeks ago, actually, because we're behind by a few weeks. My apologies on that. Instead of one person just running it through, it'll be 2 people. Hopefully, that'll also mean it'll run a bit quicker. But it's, I dare say, even shorter than the other mission, because that mission is really short. But I chickened out and gave both people medical perms. Oh, Zixme! 3 kills, ran a little too close to the sun, and it looks like the Blue 4 here regrouped and picked him off as soon as he poked his head over. Yeah, Minerad is the... Yep, that's the place that's encircled at the moment. But yeah, my goal is to get back to the full op schedule. There's quite a few ops I still have due, and then there's a few ops that people want me to run. I need to find a script where you're partnered with a buddy, and if your buddy dies, a claymore spawns on you and blows you up. I'm struggling to script that, though, because I am not the best scripter in the world, but I have someone that wants me to remake the movie Battle Royale 2, which is a Japanese film. But it's going to basically be you guys assaulting an island and trying to survive. It'll obviously be multi-life, but if your partner dies, or partners plural, all of you die. So you're encouraged not to respawn, even though it'll be multi-life. Because otherwise you all die. And the winning team, I'll probably give a reward. Like, an extra right to slot early that expires at the end of 2026. You know, something like that. But as soon as I figure out how to script that thing properly, we'll run the mission. Speaking of, I need to give an update to Mr. Seeker, because he's the one that gave me the idea.
Send in Goat Team 6 now.
Brothers,
Oh,
patriots, warriors, arise. 'Tis time to show thy loyalty to ye cause. Show thy reverence in the anime Wu Goat, also known as Liru, the greatest armor streamer in the world. Ye knowth it, thy knowth it, all knowth it. Remove thy pants for the Lord of Player suffering, or be struck by a random yet a not so random bolt of lightning. Hail Liru, King of Sandpaper Didlo Operation Building. Kiss kiss. Love your face.
I love how you rearrange the letters in dildo to make the bot say it. But Diddlo makes it sound like it's tied to Diddy. Mandalore, thanks for the 25-month resub. I hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. I'm gonna level with you guys. These past few weeks have really sucked, but I'm very lucky as a streamer to have a very wonderful community that always has my back. So I appreciate it. That was indeed a message. Didlo is the plural of Diddy. Oh no. But I appreciate all of you being here is what I'm trying to say. So, thank you for chilling with me. I know this match is pretty much over, but hey, Blue 4 might still surprise us here. What's our time at? So, Objective 1 is going to be cashed in about 10 minutes. Outpost is going to be cashed in about 13 minutes. We might see a Blue 4 counterattack to try to take it back, though, but these 75-minute objectives are going to start getting blown up by Op4, so we'll see how things go. It's a cross between Diddy and JLo. Oh, God. Oh, killing it went well. It went very, very well. No, I took her to a Korean spa, and then I took her to see the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. But now we're both kind of back into our work rhythms here, so, you know, we'll see how things go. Will Op4 blow themselves up? You know, it is quite possible. We've already seen quite a lot of blue on blue. We already saw Op4 blow up one of their own vehicles.
Used to be watch way back in the day. I think I stopped watching about when I joined the army in 2022, but only recently started watching your VODs again. Now that I'm out, I finally was able to catch a live stream again. Good to see you again.
If Miji, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, the name does ring a bell, but it's been a very long time. Like, I only have the bell ring, but welcome back nonetheless. I'm glad to see you're out, and I hope you're doing okay. Thanks for the 33-month resub. Hope you keep enjoying the ops, and I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Let the messages commence. I do appreciate it. So I'm assuming they think there's a garrison here, so they're going to try to skirt around the entire map and then go in. But if you're only assaulting with 4 guys, it doesn't matter where you approach this AO from. 4 guys isn't going to be able to do much. Plus, you have a BTR, or excuse me, BRDM supporting you. So you have to be in a position where the BRDM can also cross, which I guess it could technically off-road and then go cross right here, but that objective gets cashed out in 8 minutes. All right, so these, I'm gonna be on, like, I don't mean to like target anyone here, but I don't think these guys are gonna do much. These guys are gonna hold the final objective. I think it's GG. 4 Op4 to win, but we might see a Blue 4 counterattack here, which we do. Waduni gets taken out. Hey, NT, how you doing? What have you been up to? Another RPG goes in, but it just misses Teko there. Righto, Eris. That was 5 years. Good God, I have been doing this for nearly 10 years, though. Alright, so we had an OFCRA guy getting the Dishka here. He was taken out. Dishka's now acting a little possessed. Hippity-hoppity. It's... You know Arma's haunted, right? So, yeah, I feel that. Nope, it's still going. Hey, Angel, if I have a noob tube and I see infantry, I'm gonna do some naughty things to the infantry with it. I'm just saying. His ghost wants revenge? I don't know. The ghost is starting to turn that Dishka around. It might be trying to shoot friendlies instead. Dang. Nothing against your name, Ding. There was this period of time, I want to say 6 or 9 months ago, where during my DayZ streams, people would spend 1 bit and constantly play the ping sound of the bits. And it drove me insane for about a month. To the point I'd literally just sit there yelling ding, ding, ding. I'm assuming this objective's done, by the way, with the charges thrown in, but it's funny to see that as a named format. You know, a big chunk of this OFCRA group has actually been taken out and broken apart. So we have a 2-man group back here, 3-man group trying to destroy the objective, and then Skipu was holding on his own. Blue 4 also attacking with their command team here. Try to route out what we can. Nodders noted. Oh, God. Joker, I tried jumping into House of Trash Discord and trying to chat with you, but I guess you were asleep or something. But yes, I know. There's a few people that have asked me to come and play Darktide. I will find the time. Dane Liru's done. Yeah, don't remind me. No, I'm not lowering the bit minimum back to 1. It's staying at 5. All right, completed by East. So OFCRA get the first point on the board. That's the farm. And then we'll probably see them start moving up to the other objectives in 10 minutes. This next area will be cashed in, and it's kind of weird seeing Blue 4. It looks like they're pulling away. Maybe because they received fire, but I don't see any kills on that side, so I think they're just going to pull to the objectives instead. Skipu running up. Doesn't see Killer J in the tree. Killer J doesn't hear him, though. Skipu completely bypasses the 2 sentries here by literally sprinting past them. But here's a big chunk of OPFOR infantry to clean things up. Used to be pretty active in Barb's Discord too, so that might be it, as well as very rarely, occasionally. Yes, I have no idea where Barbarian is. I'm not even kidding. I think my best source of info told me he's in France right now and he's married or something. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I haven't seen him in years. Unironically, everyone that I used to work with, I have no idea where they've gone with the exception of some of my Twitch mods, like Killing Owl, which I pronounce it now correctly. I used to call him Killing Gal, but now I know it's Killing Owl, and that was never corrected for like 8 years. But yeah, him, Tootie. And then the only person that I've worked with outside of that for like anything video editing or mission dev, I would say is Charlotte for some mission dev and some campaign stuff here and there, and Valkyrie. Everybody else that is like OG is nowhere. Alright, Goatland gets a kill. He's got an AS Val. He killed Lolo's battle buddy there. Hearing a bunch of explosives going off. That's all the way out here. We'll have a look. Couple weeks ago. Okay, so he's still active and around. That's cool. So the 80 Alpha got blown up. I'm assuming there was there had to have been a mine or something. But it is kind of weird that it just randomly exploded. 50-50 it armored itself. I have no idea. Yeah, TSB has been gone for a few years now. Those people reformed another group called TBW, which I've gotten in the habit of playing with them again. We'll actually be in one of their MCO ops this weekend. And I try to jump in and play an op at least once or twice a week. Also, other random news. I rejoined 506. We're going to start doing stuff with them Saturday nights and Wednesdays again. So that's been added back to the schedule. I'm doing all right, Gondor. How you doing? Have you found the Grinch yet? Was his body ever confirmed in the sleigh? There goes Salty getting flanked by Demovar. Lolo knocks Demovar out, though. Parthia's trying to get some grenades up here, but the rocks are catching the grenades. Yes, we get to annoy Drum again, though I won't be Zeusing, I'll be playing on the ground. But I can annoy him over Oliver Forger's bugs, so, you know. Maybe we'll get lucky and Bigfoot will show up. Who knows? Alright, I'm going to call it's GG. Op4 have 1 to points because they have the point here, they'll get the point there, they'll get at least 4 or 5 of the points here, and by then Blue 4 won't have any opportunity to get points back. Looks like Zixme woke back up. He puts an entire magazine out in this direction, and I don't know if he got a kill or not. Nubass turns the Dishka around and starts firing. The body of the Grinch was found and stuffed to put in the new Santa's house. Good guy. But I'm referencing the Christmas op I did for Gondor in the 160th. That VOD should be up. Z trying to hold his own as command. Ends up in a 1v1 with Mr. Cool. Rigel joins in. And he's taken out. Completed by the East there. That is the second purple zone. 2 points on the board for Op4. Blue 4 are down to a group down here, which is still completely out of position. A group all the way up here. And then Op4 have most of their force just pursuing this final objective area here. Well, so far, Op4's done a pretty good job on commanding. Damien, I think it was Damien that dropped in. It was either Damien or Demovar. I'm blanking on the D names here, but... No, it had to have been Damien because he was asking advice for command, but seems his plan worked. Blue 4 spaced out a little too much, but it is what it is. Nubass thought he was firing at friendlies, but no, he's firing over. Ah, Pingus is the sniper here, but this is not a bad spot to snipe from, but he can be easily flanked. He just shot at Zixme. Zixme returns fire. I'd have what? A need for prop passports, credit cards, and lots of flags. Probably not. Alright, so this is the UAV terminal. It is blown to smithereens. Pingus again trying to quickscope Zixme here, but Zixme is taunting him. He did get hit, though. He's doing a bit of medical. If Miji, by all means, type !Discord. That links you into my community. We have ops most days of the week. I had a little bit of a hiatus because I had to take care of some IRL stuff. That's all wrapped up now. Bow on top. Right in time for Christmas. Haha. But, yeah, it's picking up again. An Armamod, link it to me, Gondor. I'll take a look at it. Demovar pushing Pingus here. Pingus pulls his handgun, and Demovar uses a rifle and absolutely murders him. Alright, it's okay if you're still a fan of Blue 4. Blue 4 still has Alpha Squad on... Why would you have the unarmed vehicle in front of the armed vehicle? Anyway. When am I going to start selling marketable plushies? My mind just went to a really messed up place, but... No. Marketable fleshlights? No. 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 I tried the life-size body pillow, but it never gained fruition because the artist kind of disappeared. But I still have the artwork. So I could technically restart it if I wanted to. It was detailed. But I'm kind of glad that never saw the light of day. Anyway. What do you mean just disappeared? Ghosted. It's the internet. All right, so we hear some distant shots in the background. Look, I have an idea for something that you could market as a plushie. But what if we made it like a Neopet, where it came with a code, and that code could connect you to a chatbot AI server, and I made it one of those, like, interactable AI bots. What scares me is I know what type of sick fucks some of you are. I don't want to read those logs. I know what you'll do. I don't think I ever owned OpChan's likeness. That was just something I picked off of a place called K. It's called a Tamagotchi? Yeah, but they don't take care of it. Unless they do. No, we're diving into territory I don't even want to touch. Hey, Nerwin, how you doing? Alright, so Blue Force Final Garrison trying to hold the final area, which is the logistics hub. Op4 sweeping the rest of these objectives to take them out. And Blue 4 Alpha taking another pit stop, maybe to have a bathroom break. But they're still on their way. They'll make it to the AO eventually. They'll make it there. Don't worry. Modern day Tamagotchi. No. Bursty spots Roofy and decides to give him a haircut. Yeah, I don't see a skull over here, so that squad just a little more internal here. Tamakuchi. That's a market I should get into, right? We should just have, like, the secret side of that, because that does make a lot of money. Goat Team 6 plushie. You got it? Oh, great. I don't want to make a goat plushie. I'm worried what one of you might do to it. Okay, no, there was a Blue 4 guy here. He got taken out. More RPG use. Toxic getting flanked by a bot. He backs away. Skipoo's running around as another bot comes up. These bots are getting smarter by the day. You know, all right, Toxic actually gets a knockout there and manages to dodge the bot, and he's gone. Rome saying he's seen that word used 3 times this year, and that's 3 times too many. I agree. It's okay. Blue 4 Alpha is still on their way. Maybe it was a massive plan to get Damien on his own to then attack Op4 Command from the rear, but will it work? Another RPG goes out. Op4 is being very aggressive with the RPGs today. One of the Blue 4 players gets so hard his neck elongates. Wasn't expecting that. No, I have not changed the batteries on this goat. Let me see. It sounds kind of cursed. I don't know if you heard that, but I really need to change the batteries. Pans was using his lifeless friend as a piece of cover, and it did help him dodge shrapnel. Never mind, he's dead. Well, surely he'll be fine. He's dead. Okay. Okay. Never mind. Oh, look, another bot just murdering people. Outruns Daniel. Daniel looking around. Another RPG goes out. Ooh, he's doing medical. Yeah, that bot's algorithms. He didn't know that once the door in front of you opens, you got to pull your gun back out and shoot the bad guy. Mm-hmm. That was a miss. Nicholas gets a kill on another Op4 guy. But guys, don't worry. Blue 4 Alpha is still on the way. They've gotten a little bit lost. I thought they'd be coming up this road to come in from the rear, but no, they've gone a different route. Amazing. Daniel spots a bot. Can he get the kill? No. Digord holding a building, Nicholas holding the open in the middle. That'd be really funny if Digord was shooting at Nicholas there, but no, I think he was knocking Sarna out there. Grenades throw in. Oh, shit. Damn, this actually ain't a bad spot. This guy vaults over the pumpkin here. Ends up in a firefight with Digord, activates his lag switch, but it's not enough to save him, as he temporarily had 2 guns there. Grzyzowski shooting over Giovanni there to get the kill. Blue 4 down to 2 people in the zone, but don't worry, Alpha is still on their way. They'll make it there eventually. Bursty now running in, fighting Digord. He's caught in a reload. And now he's dead. Well, he tried his best. Here comes Nicholas. Nicholas, the last Blue 4 person in the AO. Can Nicholas, with 2 kills, channel his inner Adriano and win the match for Blue 4? Let's find out. He puts a burst in Bursty's face, throws a grenade behind the cover area. And, well, he got the kill, but he is now gone. And guys, that is GG. It's pretty much over. I'll wait to see if Nicholas gets double tapped, but he might wake up. I'm sure he'll wake up. It'll be fine, and he's gone. All right, guys, that's GG. Thank you so much for watching. There's no Blue 4 players left alive that are important. It's okay. Alpha will eventually make it. They're on their way. They're still getting McDonald's. Why is there an Op4 guy back here? I think NASA's teleported up to them and go like, hey guys, you're the only dudes left. Can you just go to the final AO? Because, yeah, you're kind of stalling the entire game right now. And then NASA teleported away to go be unconscious somewhere. And now he's back. Okay. Well, you know you're slow when the admin literally has to teleport over to you and go, hey guys, can you, like, do something? Because if you don't, like, what are we doing here? How much time is left? There's still like 30 minutes. A little less than 30 minutes in the round. But where are you going? They've decided not to move. They are instead going to hold this position. Bruh. NASA's DMs are getting full. Yeah, right? Where Op for? Where Blue for? What's going on? You're proning on. Look, they mean well. It's just you got to remember some groups are a little more cautious and tactical than others. So you sometimes end up with these scenarios here, but I'll give it like one more minute and then I'm done. Because this is what these guys did. This was their plan. They went here, then here. Then they did this like all the way around thing and went here. No, here. Then they went out here and decided they weren't going for the outpost. Then they came back. They've literally done a giant circle and avoided the firefight every step of the way. They've literally gone a circle. There's nothing they can really do here because they're going to now push through a very open route. As soon as Op4 detects them, they're just going to turn around and engage them. But yeah, no, everyone's just kind of... Everyone's out here messing around because they think they won. Yeah, now they're being told that there is an attack coming, but... Oddball was not a commander on either side. Hey, Jared, how you doing? You need one RPG. Oh, they do have a single RPG. Alright, so they take some BRDM fire. That was from the... That sounds like it's from the 14.5 millimeter. Yep. That's going to be shredding through that vehicle. Kyle immediately returned fire with a PKM. It was a bit of a blind fire there. Oh my god, it's Ixme. He's stolen the sniper rifle. And now he is committing fuck around. I'm going to laugh if he runs up and starts, like, no-scoping people. Because he would be the type of player to do that. Not the Polish penetrator. Unfortunately, the Polish penetrator is being read on Reddit. Wombat's going for him. Can Wombat defeat the Polish penetrator? No, I think he's correcting it and calling that was friendly fire. Darn. Well, there will always be another opportunity. Zixmy doing some medical. And Blue 4 is realizing that, yeah, they've come to a route where there's a giant open field. What will they do? Oh, he's looking for the guy that shot him. Where could he be? He points to where the enemy are, and he's just like, no. Shoot over there, not me. So, Blue 4's new plan might be to pull away and then completely circle around again. And Op4 is just sending a counterattack group up. And Leo Need Ass here is coming up with an RPG to hopefully tap this BRDM's ass. But we'll see. Kerrigan on point. I think he's calling the infantry ahead of him. Gets a kill. Gets a knockout. And Blue 4 don't realize the enemy are right in front of them. Grenade goes out. It goes to the road. Might be enough to get Gotland. Gets a knockout on Gotland. Second grenade goes over. Goes far. Gotland taunts with the friendly wiggle as both sides trade a massive amount of grenades. And Blue 4 now prone in the open, and Kerrigan gets a flanking shot. Are you, what are you shooting at? What? And the BRDM reveals that it was actually an Op4 spy this entire time. That's why Op4 isn't shooting at it yet. All of the infantry is dead. Here comes Leo. Is he going to tap that BRDM's ass? He does. And that is GG. We'll be back at 8 o'clock. That is in 3 hours, 6 minutes. Thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. I think this was a perfect score for Op4. All 3 objectives taken. They get the survivor bonus for having at least 8 people alive, and they got all 5 of the objectives. That is, what, 12 or 13 points total. Unfortunately, yeah, the Czechs were destroyed. It only counted 7 of the points, though. But, yeah, no, that should have been 10 total. Anyway, we'll be back in 3 hours. Thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Thank you for joining me. Cheers, and have a good one.